Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined this week on the other end of the tin can and string by EZ.
Happy Turkey Day weekend, bitches.
Yes, I don't even want to think of turkey for a while. And CJ.
Yo.
We got a big week this week. Survivor Series happened last night. The fallout from Full Gear. And we have some prizes to give away. But if you've never seen the show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I met CJ locally here in the area. I met EZ at All In Starcast. We love wrestling. We love talking wrestling. We love sharing our love personally with each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, we're just fans. Our opinions that have any other fan. We avoid insider terms because we're not insiders. We're not wrestlers. We're just a bunch of marks. But we're marks that give away prizes. And we had a tie for first place in the Survivor Series giveaway. And then a three-way tie for third place. So we'll just draw for third place first. We have Joseph, Michaela, and Kayla. They all entered on the Facebook page, so we'll do a drawing to see who wins third place, and the winner is Michaela. Michaela wins third place. So she receives a comic book, and her comic book is... I got all the magazines out. Batman and Catwoman issue number 5. So, let's set that over here for now. So now the drawing for first place between Kevin and Marcel. Let's put that in Marcel. There's Kevin.
Are you his biggest fan?
Who?
Kevin? You don't get the reference?
No.
SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah, now I get it.
Yeah. Kevin the sea cucumber.
And Kevin does win. So Marcel gets second place. So for second place, Marcel gets a comic book of... Planet-Size X-Men number 1. And he also gets an action figure of...
Jay White.
No, I don't have any of those.
Yet.
No.
TJ, you know what to do for Christmas.
Oh, I can't do that to him for Christmas.
Yeah, but say... Hey, that's actually in luck. I hear they're opening up a new batting cage in the town we live in. That'd be great, you know.
Ooh.
I'll just...
For real?
No, but I will use that at batting cage. His action figure is a Kurt Angle TNA action figure.
Ooh.
So
That's actually a
Perk
good
Angle.
Perk Angle, yes, it is a Perk Angle action figure. So that one might be worth some money. Let's see. Kevin's figure is... Oh, the DVDs are falling out too into the thing. Oh no.
DVDs for everyone. You get a DVD. You get a DVD.
An Undertaker action figure.
Ooh.
Old school
Just a
Undertaker.
regular one or not like American Badass or whatever?
It's like kind of the old school 1997, 1998 Undertaker.
Ooh,
It's
okay,
with the-
okay. So like the Ministry of Darkness days?
1997, so right before the Ministry. About 2 years before the Ministry. All right.
Okay.
He gets a DVD of... a New Japan Pro Wrestling DVD in Japanese. Like, straight up. In Japanese.
Have fun with the Google Translates. And Kevin Kelly on commentary.
No, that's from 1987, so it is Japanese commentary.
Oh, have fun.
Still, the action will be good.
87 New Japan DVD? Dude, you should give that to their museum if they have one.
I'm fairly certain that it's not. Let me make sure this is the right size that Kevin gave me in DMs. Is this the right one? Yep, these are the right ones. So Kevin's shirt is. Speaking of New Japan Wrestling, Pro Wrestling in the 80s, a Big Van Vader shirt. So, cool.
Big Van Vader?
Yeah, Vader. His original name was Big Van Vader.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And the comic book he gets will be a Nightwing number 86. And this one might be awkward, this next part, because he gets the poster, but there's some autographed pictures in there of wrestlers from the promotion that he works for. So, hey, that might be fun.
And which promotion would that be?
Well, Stride Pro Wrestling.
Ah, nice.
But he does not get a autograph from Stride Pro Wrestling. He gets a Ricky Morton autograph from when Ricky Morton thought he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Ric Flair. So, that is cool. That's a cool pickup for Kevin.
Wasn't he the guy that we just watched on our last Geeking Out podcast, or is somebody else?
No, no, he wasn't in that War Games match. He was on the card, but he wasn't in the War Games match.
Okay.
That was Brian Pillman.
Well, it was on Flair's team or whatever.
No, it was Larry Zbyszko and Barry Windham.
Okay, sorry about that.
Barry Windham. We probably do need to watch some old Rock and Roll Express though. They used to be on AEW quite a bit back in the early days. All right, so thank you everyone for playing. Your prizes will be sent to you.
Like some really bad wrestling promotions.
I thought that's what you're doing with WCW right now.
Haha! No, I mean like UWF, XWF Wrestling.
UWF was good though.
AWF.
Okay, that would be bad. But like, no, depends. There's two different UWFs, and one was really good.
The one that Brian Zane reviewed.
Yeah, that one was not as good.
Yeah, that one.
That used to be on ESPN Classic at like 11 o'clock at night every night.
That is scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's think about WCW. CJ, you're missing all the fun.
I don't think I am.
Oh, you can watch one episode where there is no Bulk Bogan or Axelmania.
All right, so we got to talk about Survivor Series. This was a damn fine show. I don't feel like it's a best show of the year, but it was a damn fine show.
I sadly did not see the show because I got home very late from work, so y'all can have fun.
Yeah, you missed a great show.
Well, I'm sorry, work kind of prioritizes.
Oh, I know. Hey, you had all day to watch it, though.
Yeah.
Not really, actually.
You have all night after this to watch it.
I know I don't. As soon as I'm done, then I'm going to bed. Anyways, keep going.
You have all week to watch the show. First match was
our Geeking Out show.
Yeah. That'll be our Geeking Out show. You will watch Survivor Series.
Anyways.
First match was the Women's War Games match. Team Belair of Bianca, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch versus Team Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. With Team Belair winning in the end. I thought this was a good match. I know, like, it kind of... All the wrestlers were kind of on the struggle bus at the beginning, especially poor Io Sky and poor Alexa Bliss, who almost tripped over a camera cord.
There was no almost.
She tripped over and then like had a very annoyed look on her face as she was walking towards the ring. But
Was it worse than Julia Hart almost botching going through the table?
No,
this was just more like
It
an
didn't
oh
look
no.
like she almost hurt herself. She just like was running to the ring.
Run to the ring
got
and
tripped up.
got a little tripped up and caught herself and then kind of looked like that was annoying. I really did not want that to happen.
Okay.
Like, excuse you, sir,
Mm-hmm.
and your cord. Who put this cord here?
Yeah, that was about it. That was, but yeah, I like this match. I thought it was really good. I feel like Damage Control's pretty well done now. I mean, they've lost everything. What say you, CJ?
I kind of hope that Damage Control is done because I'm just not. I've not been feeling it for a while. I don't know what you do with them from here because they have lost I mean, obviously, you can't break up the tag team champs because that's a big deal. Dripping in sarcasm, but no, I'd split them from Bailey, and I would address Io because she's made me not look like I know what I'm talking about since SummerSlam. She's had a lot of flubs and missteps, so I'd address and see what's going on with her because that's not Io.
No, not at all.
I don't know where you go with the two of them from here. That's just kind of a problem that they're having in booking right now anyway, but I'm not sure what the direction is from here.
I mean, I kind of warned about it, if I'm not mistaken, about Damage Control. It's like, you put them on a really bad losing streak, and then you wonder, well, they're tag champs, or if vice versa, whatever. What the fuck do you do with them?
Well, even if they were on a winning streak, it's still what do you do with them because there's nobody to really match them
I mean,
with.
clearly it looks like there's better booking for the Bloodline than you could do with Damage Control. Like, what the hell?
Well, the Bloodline's there. I mean, that's not a knock on Damage Control, but the Bloodline is like very, very good and very, very well protected. And
I mean, Damage Control can be the same thing. We could be well protective for Dakota, Io, and Bailey.
I don't think that you can be that protective on them because the women's roster, even though it's a lot bigger than some others, it's not big enough to have a big reign, especially with 3 different talents. It's a lot. It's
the biggest miscue, in my opinion, was Bailey not winning the title. You at least had to have that. And, close your ears, but this would be the equivalent of when Hulk Hogan got his first shot at the World Heavyweight title in WCW after the NWO formed, losing. It's like, okay, you're kind of cutting the legs out from underneath a dominant bad, faction of bad wrestlers looking to take control of a company if the first big match for the biggest title that they can go for, they come up short. And that's what happened to Bailey.
I mean, and that's this has to be the end for Bailey. This has to be the end for Bailey. But I don't know.
So how do you continue booking her then?
I don't know. I think that she has to go away for a while.
Like, would you start, just hit the reset button, just put her back in the hugger mood? Or hugger zone? I don't know.
I would just pull her for a couple weeks and see how that goes. The other piece is that other than Rhea Ripley, I don't know what's next for Bianca.
Yeah, I think Rhea is pretty obviously she needs to win the Women's Royal Rumble this year.
You know that she's not going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. You know that. You know where that spot is.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Who's the spot going to?
Woo!
Or Becky.
No.
Or Becky.
Yes. 100%.
I know.
Oh, 100%. She's going
When we get to the Royal Rumble, I'll have my predictions. But Charlotte and Becky, absolutely not.
It'll be Charlotte.
It'll be Charlotte and either and Bianca.
No, it'll be Charlotte and Ronda
Or Ronda, yeah.
again.
I mean, there could be Charlotte Ronda, but it doesn't have to be because Charlotte wins the Rumble.
I know it doesn't, but that's how it's going to be.
Well, maybe Vinnie Mac would book it, but I don't know about Hunter.
You know, like Charlotte.
Hunter has all the control over this, because there's a lot of shit that we're watching that doesn't seem like it would be Hunter.
Yeah, especially on Raw.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but something a counterpoint to what you said. A counterpoint to what you said. Oh, would Hunter do that? You know that like Charlotte became like the megastar and the top woman on NXT under Hunter, right? Like, yeah, like that was Charlotte having her first big run of being the top of a division happened because of Triple H. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Triple H would easily do something like that. All right, next match. AJ Styles with the OC versus Finn Balor with the Judgment Day. I loved this match. Loved the story it told. Loved the action. Loved the pacing. Loved how
this was a fair match.
Yeah.
This was a truly one-on-one match.
Good for them.
Yeah. You know, the first part of the match, you know, both the other factions brawled the back. So there's no more OC, no more Judgment Day. They just wrestled their match. It was AJ kept going after Finn's leg to try and set him up for the calf crusher. And take away the coup de grace. When Finn hit it, he couldn't follow up. AJ was able to kick out because, you know, not just because like, oh, hey, it's a finisher so new wrestling logic dictates I kick out of it. No, like Finn couldn't follow up. So he couldn't cover AJ, so it gave AJ time to recover. And then they wrestled more, and AJ is able to hit the phenomenal forearm. One phenomenal forearm, and win the match. It was great in its simplicity. I loved it. Not sure if it was my match of the night because there's another really good match that happened on this, but I don't know. This was really good, and I hope it's not the end for AJ and Finn because they've had two bangers in their life. What'd you think?
I really liked it. I thought this match really kind of carried the show to this point. There were two matches, but on the short match card, this was a standout. I don't think that they're done. I mean, obviously we're going to have more matches because we haven't even seen Rhea and Mia mix it up yet, really. So, yeah, I think that this is just kind of the start of a new chapter for both of the teams together.
Yep. You have a backstage segment with Jey Uso telling Roman Reigns that he saw Sami Zayn talking to Kevin Owens.
Tattling.
Yeah, he was tattling. And then Roman said he's going to call Sami in there and look into his eyes and know what kind of man he is. And Paul Heyman called for Sami Zayn. And then we went to the next match. Oh boy! Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Ronda Rousey wins. The match lasted 7 minutes, 15 seconds. I feel like that was about 6 minutes too long. Because this was awful. This was just bad. Ronda Rousey is not very good. Ronda Rousey has only been good when you put her in there with somebody who's really good. Like Becky, like Charlotte. Even though I've kind of, ragged on her in the past, Sasha. Those are the only times that Ronda's been good. Or had a good match.
She had a decent match with Emma.
Oh yeah, the Emma match was good.
She's had a decent match, although short, with Raquel.
But also look at the names that you mentioned, and then
I know. Well,
Shotzi.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Raquel is not a long-standing wrestler, and I think that this is kind of my point. You cannot go with Ronda Rousey, who has been wrestling for 3 years total, with 1.5 years off. So she took an entire year plus off to have a baby, which is fine, but she wasn't wrestling in that time. So 3 years of a total wrestling history. There's somebody else who has that long wrestling history in AEW, and we don't expect her to go out and have 5-star matches either. However, both have the titles, both are expected to carry it, and they just cannot. You have to put people in there who know how to wrestle, and not just know how to go out there and do their own stuff, but know their competitors' limitations. And that's why I think that when you name off all of these people who Ronda's had a good match with, that's why it was a good match, because she had competitors who know her limitations. Raquel being the standout because Raquel can wrestle a style that fits Ronda's experience level. Raquel doesn't go out there and do all kinds of crazy flippy dives and this and that, and knows, like, oh, make sure you tuck your head here, or flippy flop this. Like, Raquel does a very old school style, and that's more suited to having a good match with Ronda, because you need to have a more realistic fighter MMA style to be effective with her. And Shotzi doesn't have that style. If you put Shotzi in with like Sasha to have those kind of matches, or even a Bayley, she'll have a really good match. But she's not the one to be leading this match. She's not new. She's too new to be leading matches like this against other newbies. That's not her function. Not yet. And so putting them together in a pay-per-view and expecting them to have a really good match is asking a lot, and it's setting someone up for failure.
And
I think that's what they did.
And, even if the match would have lasted longer, I don't think that would have helped this match at all. I feel like that would have made the match even worse because of the limitations in play.
If you put a longer match on that, you risk injuring the both of them and completely damaging both of their characters for a really long... Look at Mustafa Ali. He's damaged. Nobody cares. He's going out and he's having good competitive matches that are long. Nobody gives a shit. You're going to do that if you put Shotzi in a 15-minute shitty match, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care the next time you put her in a match. Nobody's going to care the next time you build her up.
Yep. So next match.
Why did we get a Ronda versus Shayna Baszler match? They've never faced each other one-on-one.
They are a team right now. Like, not a tag team, but like they are, they're aligned.
Okay, because honestly, you want a dream match, Ronda, Shayna, both with very extensive MMA backgrounds.
The thing is, they're both so unlikable. Perfect. Their characters are so unlikable. Who do you cheer for?
What's unlikable about Shayna?
Everything!
Shayna is an excellent heel.
Yeah, she's like her whole aura, her whole gimmick, everything about her is a fucking sadistic bully. Like, that is her character.
Okay.
Like, everything about her, at least as a character, everything about her is unlikable.
I mean, I personally really like Shayna.
I think I like her too, but I don't want to see her on the good side of things, because I don't think
she is not as an effective of a...
It's like The Miz. It's like The Miz being on the good side. It just don't work. Like, no matter how nice of a guy The Miz might be in real life, that character does not work being good. All right, so next match, and kind of the co-match of the night for me. Triple threat match for the United States Championship. Austin Theory defeats Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley to win. This is a good match, good action. The ending of the match, though, was great. That's what kind of saved it for, or not only saved it, but like what really made it for me was a very creative ending that made everybody that, Theory benefited, Seth and Bobby. It left you wanting more from the three of them, and that's very hard to do in a three-way match. Usually, someone has to look like, oh well, they weren't very good, or they weren't, time for that third wheel to go do something else. But this one didn't do that. It didn't make you want the third wheel to go do something else. It made you want to see all three of them mix it up again, and it was really good. What do you think?
No, this was a really, really good match. Seth had like the best spot ever with a perfectly timed splash to break up a pin, and this was some of Seth's best work. Like, if you want to talk about like celebrating an anniversary, he went out there and he celebrated an anniversary and had a fantastic match. Do you feel like this justified the Money in the Bank catastrophe a couple weeks ago now?
I still would have rather him try to cash in on actual world champion, but if they're doing something new with him, hey, he's doing better without it. I still would have rather him tried to cash in on a world champion. You got a free pass to wrestle a world champion. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, even Damian Sandow got to cash in on Cena before he lost. Even Baron Corbin got to cash in on Jinder Mahal before he lost.
I think I'd rather cash in on Seth or Bobby.
But yeah, another great match, or at least a very good match. Backstage segment. Sami Zayn comes in. He's confronted by Roman. He tells Roman that yes, he did talk to Kevin Owens, but he didn't tell Jay because of the tension. He didn't want there to be any issues. Going into the War Games match, Roman kind of lays down the law on, hey, if you want to be, you're with Bloodline now, that's not your friend anymore. And Sami explains that why he wants to be part of the Bloodline, and Roman brings him in for a hug, and we now go to war. The Bloodline of Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and the honorary Uso, Sami Zayn, versus the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens. Jey Uso and Butch start the match off. Because in this one, the Brawling Brutes actually got the advantage. Something you don't see in a lot of matches like this, but it kind of works because then it saves the last spot for Roman Reigns, the last person out of the match. So it worked for this sort of story. Ridge Holland comes in. They double team Jey Uso. When it comes time for the Bloodline to let their next member out, it looks like it's going to be Jimmy Uso, but Roman stops him and then points at Sami Zayn to go in. And yeah, match just builds. The big spots, and at least in what the story of this match was telling. Sami Zayn pulled Jey Uso out of the way from getting hit into the cage. Jey Uso accidentally super kicks Sami Zayn in the middle of the match. But the big spot that everybody is talking about is you finally have the confrontation with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn says, "This is my family," and Kevin Owens says, "This is your family. This is your family." And Sami Zayn low blows Kevin Owens, hits him with a haluva kick, and then looks at Jey Uso to hit him with the Uso splash. Jey Uso does, pins Sami Zayn, and the Bloodline win. Then after the match, Roman hugs Sami Zayn, and then the big moment of the celebration, Jey Uso hugs Sami Zayn, and then hugs him again and like does the hug where you kind of lift them off their feet. And I thought he was going to like belly to belly him, but it wasn't. That was just a big celebratory hug from Jey Uso to Sami Zayn. And the honorary use may not be honorary much longer. He is, at least as of then, as of yesterday, seems fully accepted into the bloodline. This was, again, it's probably not something that is going to earn 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, but as far as like a story being told and, setting up a story for the future, this was pretty close to perfect. Pretty close to perfect. Because, and a nice little subversion of expectations, because everybody was saying, oh, this is going to be when the bloodline turn on Sami, and it's going to lead to Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania. After what Sami did, now you just got to wonder what's going to happen. What's going to happen with Sami if they do turn on, because now he's alienated everybody. Which might be a more interesting story going forward. Oh, what do y'all think?
I still kind of wish that it would have gone that way, because I'm not sure how you go forward with Sami Zayn. I don't want them to overstay their welcome with the bloodline with Sami, because it has been incredibly entertaining, and I'm sure it's making a lot of money. But at some point, it will overstay its welcome, and it will turn to crap, because that's just how things do. I think the best way to pay it off is at WrestleMania, and I'm not sure how we get there. Especially since Sami did, low blow and kick his potential tag team partner. I don't know, maybe theories are out there that Sami wins the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank or something else that makes him Roman's title contender, and that's interesting, but I still am not sold. I'm not sold. I'm interested. I don't know where the story is going, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all. This whole thing, though, this whole story has felt like almost like a mafia story, where you have, the family, and then you have, the Don basically befriend an outsider, and, the Don's like, yeah, this guy's good, he can work for us, and, you have a few people in the family like him, and you have one person in the family who doesn't, and now that outsider has finally been accepted by the one, underboss or lieutenant that didn't like him. So I'm interested. It was a nice subversion of expectations. It's just got to be followed up on to see if it was, is it going to be, is it going to be a good subversion, like in Civil War, or is it going to be a bad subversion like the new Star Wars movies? All that remains to be seen. But yeah, really good show. Enjoyed it. Don't regret what, we would regret watching WWE pay-per-views for so long that, now that we don't regret them and they're actually decent, like, it's refreshing. So, now it's time to talk about Dynamite. Time to light the fuse and bring the boom. Show starts off with William Regal, who says MJF is not there. He does take a giant shit on Chicago, which I appreciated.
And also today, Chicago lost to the Jets, not just in football, but in hockey on the same day. Bravo, Chicago. Sorry, I just had to get a sports reference in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Bears, but I don't follow hockey, but I don't like the Blackhawks. So I guess that makes me a pure hater of the Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks lost 7-2.
Yeah, I guess that's just one of those. That is one of those where like I am just a blind hater because obnoxious Chicago people like the Blackhawks, so I don't like them. And Moxley comes out, wants an answer. Danielson pretty much calls him off and says, "Look, I don't like what he did, but don't hurt him. You know, this man's done so much for me. Don't hurt him."
I was now hoping Brian would turn on Mox, but I don't know. Maybe just long-term storytelling, maybe?
I hope so because, like, I get what they're trying to do with this segment. And I'm not going to say it was poorly executed, but it kind of... You swung for the fences, but you only made it to first base. That's kind of how I felt about this segment. Like, you really wanted to hit out of the park, but you just got a base hit. Nothing wrong with it. You still got a base hit. You got on base. You didn't get out. You didn't strike out. You didn't, pop it up and they catch it, but wasn't the hit you were looking for. CJ, what'd you think?
I thought it was fine. I don't know. Like, they didn't have MJF, so they had to do something. So I guess William Regal trying to come out and explain what he did was fine. I didn't expect Mox to be there. I think that they could have just
not had Mox there would have been better because the man deserves a vacation.
Yeah, have Regal.
Yes.
Yeah, just like let Moxley have a freaking vacation.
Mox was supposed to have the vacation 2 months ago.
Yeah, and then just have Regal come out and be like, "Well, you want to know?" I'm like, "I don't owe you shit." And then Brian come out and be like, "Dude, you gotta go. Moxley's gonna kill you." Like, I have somebody like, "Oh yeah, he's not here because I messed with this or his plane ticket." Explain shenanigans if you want to make Moxley not look like a vacationing prick. That's fine, but he didn't have to be there for that one little segment. He did not have to be there, and I thought it dragged. So
yeah, it did go on way too long. Like for a segment to have for a segment to not give you any answers then. Like, I understand, having to milk stuff to get answers later on. Like, that's cool. But if you're not going to give us any sort of semblance of an answer then, you can't let a segment like this drag.
Hell, it could have been like a sit-down JR interview. Like, he talks to Regal and be like, what was all that about? Or why'd you let MJF win?
I think that in Chicago, after he was billed, you have to have someone physically in front of the crowd.
Yeah, I don't care if it was like, maybe Shivani was saying like, "Ladies and gentlemen, William Regal," and you have everyone booing at him. Then he can explain something. Like, I like Mox, but we didn't need him for the Chicago show.
No, he didn't need to be there.
No. All right.
And how? Not even Brian should not have been in the segment either. Just
you could have had Brian or at least somebody who something to kind of at least
Brian or Claudio
or Wheeler, somebody to kind of go like that to at least kind of give Regal a hey, what the fuck, man, to at least keep the story moving.
This is kind of the end of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, It is.
Like this, and yet, like a couple of days ago, I saw like, oh, Pro Wrestling Tees gonna pre-order a soccer jersey of the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, did you guys not watch Full Gear? So, but anyways, this literally could have been Claudio, Yuta, and Brian be like, what the hell was all that about?
Yeah.
Like, I would build this to like a Moxley return maybe in the new year, honestly. Just let him have his time off that he needed.
AEW.
You could have like MJF saying like, I scared off Moxley, your poster boy or whatever. And honestly, you know what? Kind of, okay, I'm not saying copy this idea, but kind of make it look like every wrestler that MJF beats, he kind of quote unquote banishes them. Except in this case, you're not releasing their contracts.
Nah, you'll thin out like too many of your big stars that way too quickly.
Well, period of time.
You'd thin out too many people.
Every week.
He's getting ready to wrestle Ricky Starks, so you'd basically bash Ricky Starks, and then he'd like have. Okay, so now Ricky Starks can't build off a momentum of having a good match with MJF. He's just got to go away. That would halt any potential that a guy like Starks would have, or a guy like Darby may have, or a guy like Jungle Boy may have to like really build off of having that big world title match. Like, it would only work with people that like need time off.
Also, my last question: who's Ricky Starks?
Hey, you got his name right.
I mean, it's because I've never heard of the guy.
He raced motocross.
He's like from Glory Pro or.
Don't be bashing Glory Pro.
Yeah,
Glory Pro's all. He was in St. Louis Anarchy for a little bit. He did some matches there.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully Sporky Parks will be pretty cool.
AEW All-Atlantic 7-Eleven 24/7 Championship match. Orange Cassidy.
Ocean Spray.
Orange Cassidy defeated Jake Hager. Orange Cassidy did not get to wear the hat, so therefore the match was awful.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, no hat wearing from Orange Cassidy, and you have the All Atlantic Championship. Yeah, double whammy. Speaking of Ricky Starks, CJ, what do you think of this engagement for the that belt?
Meh.
Yeah, exactly.
Meh.
Speaking of Ricky Starks, Full Gear World Title Eliminator match. Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page.
Before we get to this, I just have a match idea. Orange Cassidy versus Jake Hager in a hat on a pole match or hat on a rack match.
Bro.
You cannot put things on the pole, bro.
Well, that's why I said hat on a rack.
Show, bro.
You gotta put it on the pole again. You got Swerve, and then David Arquette. Yeah, you know what? I support that. I support David Arquette being added to the match. I support David Arquette winning this belt, and then banishing this belt, never to be seen again.
I mean, WWE found a way to get rid of the 24/7 belt about damn time, so we'll see if TK can get rid of this damn belt.
Yeah, so the only difference is people still think this belt is good when it's not. People knew the 24/7 belt was stupid. There are still people that will die on the hill. This is a wonderful belt. People will think this is great. This is a wonderful belt, and it's having great matches, and we just need to appreciate the existence of this useless, pointless, dumb title.
Matches, but not the belt.
Yeah, I agree. But anytime I bash this belt on Twitter, I get a bunch of people go like, look at all the wonderful matches for this belt. Why don't you think it's good? It's like, because it's pointless and stupid.
Have these matches with or without the fucking belt.
Yeah.
Well, this could have been a non-title match for all I care about.
It could have been designed differently to not make it seem like it's stupid.
It could have been a match to win Jake's hat.
Yeah, that would have been more important than that fucking belt.
That would have been way
Yep.
more entertaining.
Yep.
And especially
Orange
with the Jericho
Cassidy versus Jake
Appreciation
Hager for the
Society
hat.
being the epitome of sports entertainers.
Way better than the Alt Lang Championship belt. Yeah. But the World Title Eliminator, Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page.
That hat.
This was a good match. Ricky Starks going to be getting his first world title shot. Building up to a nice, pretty well homegrown, two homegrown AEW guys getting their in a world title match. That's a good thing. But yeah, I know CJ wants to talk about this one, so.
Yep. Yeah. Explain your love for MJF.
This hurts my heart, but I want it so badly.
MJF to squash that Ricky guy.
I really hope it's not just a squash, but I know what's happening. I know what's coming here, you guys. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. At least they're not doing it this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm okay with this. I have 2 weeks to prepare myself mentally.
All right. So this match is going to be at least 55 seconds long.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I need a good 20-minute match.
No, you don't. That's too
long.
The average attention span for a wrestling fan is at least 7 minutes.
Look, Bryan Danielson got a 15-minute on his hands and knees in front of Mox begging session. I want 20-minute matches.
Well, unfortunately, this is going to be on primetime television, so that's not going to happen.
That was on primetime television, too!
Television. The first 20 minutes of Dynamite this week.
Maybe Bryan and Moxley are just better wrestlers. Okay, I'm going to stop before I get kicked by you.
Hey! Why do I hear a plane leaving for Cleveland right now? Oh, no.
Why did I just get a Visa alert on our credit card that you purchased airline tickets?
To Cleveland?
Hey, I mean, Southwest Airlines has direct flights from St. Louis to Cleveland, so
yes.
Come visit me.
Love Southwest.
But
here's something I didn't love. The
Frontier
best of 7 series match, the Elite versus Death Triangle match 2. Look.
This match was great, except for a few things. What the fuck is a best of 7 wrestling series? Really? And was this just a way to piss off Chicago, who were practically the most bipolar crowd I have ever heard?
Yeah, that's the one thing worth noting is you start out with a CM Punk and fuck the Elite chant, and then he turns into a fuck CM Punk and Colt Cabana chant.
I don't know if this was literally just the lower section being Team Elite and the rest of the arena being Team CM Punk. My reaction would be, who gives a fuck?
Well, not something to
Most
address.
of the AEW audience, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the IWC invaded this place.
Yeah, they usually do. But now it's time to just address the elephant in the room. So, Matt Jackson intentionally botches a buckshot lariat, just like CM Punk did. And then Kenny uses the go to sleep and then says on Twitter he was homaging Kenta. The homaging Kenta part was funny, but, like that I appreciate. But
you also missed the part where he bit someone on the arm.
That's true. He did bite somebody, yes.
Kenta bit someone or Punk did?
No, Kenny.
Kenny did, yeah.
Pac, I think.
Ew.
Like a steel bit him.
Oh.
So now we have everybody on the internet going like, oh my god, this was some great trolling. This is why the Elite are the greatest of all time and everything. Woo! And then you have the other side going, this is why CM Punk was absolutely fucking right to do what he did. This proves that everybody is unprofessional assholes and CM Punk was right. And, like...
I blame the reporter who first asked the question about Colt Cabana. This is all their fault.
I blame
Nobody
CM
asked
Punk for
about
being
Colt Cabana.
for wanting to ride with a bunch of shit because he's got nothing better to do than be a miserable fuck all day every day of his life. But that's besides the point. To show that it's not just the fact that I hate CM Punk coming out. Okay, like, it was funny. Ha ha, it's funny. Ha ha, you're making insider references, Elite. Oh, cool. Yes, we know. We know that you know that we know about backstage stuff going on. Cool. Shut the fuck up. All of you. All of you are children.
I mean, this is something that happened 2 months ago. Everybody's moved on.
Except for and all the CM Punk fans out there. He's literally doing commentary for an MMA promotion, talking shit about the Elite and making references to it too. So don't act like he's fucking innocent either. Everybody in this whole situation, the Elite are still making themselves look bad to try and gain some clout. The thing I've always thought about the Elite is true. They are more interested in looking cool to the IWC and gaining clout and having everybody go, oh my god, let me tweet about how fucking cool they are, than actually trying to do something more important, which is, you know, even though this isn't really my cup of tea, making this best of 7 mean more in the grand scheme of things other than trolling. And CM Punk is still a fucking bitter prick. CG, what do you think of all this shit?
I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. There's so much back and forth, and he said, she said, and all. Now the whole internet is just so concerned with, well, it's a work. It's a work because Kenny said we should just all drop it and forget about it, and then he brought it all back up in the match with the Elite because Kenny did it more than they did, and now that we have to do all of these articles on they're not interested in buying out CM Punk's contract anymore, so he'll be back. And I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
I've enjoyed AEW significantly more without his ass there, but that's besides the point.
I like AEW just period. I don't care who's here or who's not.
You know, I kind of liked
it with Cody Rhodes. I like it without Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I liked this AEW that, you know, features more talent, shorter segments, not the same people every single week, and different faces showing up. And I liked that kind of figuring out and rebuilding after all these problems. Like the first time they did it, they kind of rebuilt it around 1 or 2 people, and this time they've kind of rebuilt it around more. And I like that. And I want to keep that going. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen because we're going to get the same match 7 times.
Yep.
And God forbid if they decide to work this CM Punk versus the Elite feud, we're going to get that like 500 times.
Yep.
And I don't care. I don't care to see it. I don't care. I don't care if it was real. I don't care if it was a work. It's unprofessional either way. Knock it the fuck off. Get over it. Move on. Everybody, move the fuck on.
Yep. All right. Death Triangle win. Take a 2-0 lead. Hey, maybe they'll sweep and we won't have to see it 7 times. How about that?
That's not going to happen.
I know.
The Elite, of course they're not going to make it happen.
Hey, I'll say this about the Elite. They'll be able to prove that they are as good as Cody Rhodes at putting business first if they get swept. Yeah, I know what I said.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Next match, Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue versus Ty J versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. This was...
No.
I really want to like this match, especially because there's so many talented women involved in this. It just...
You mean like 3 talented women involved in this?
Well, I mean, you have Britt and Jamie. You have Ty and Anna, and you have two with potential. You know, Willow's got potential, so does Sky, but it just kind of fell short of expectations.
I said what I said. Willow is talented. I said what I said.
Yeah, Will's got talent.
Willow's got talent. Jamie and Britt have talent for days.
Yeah, this match fell flat to me.
Ty has a really good talent for hurting really talented people.
And
I'm just after your women. Well, unfortunately, with Thunder Rosa now, she has been stripped of the title because of injury. Now Jamie is the official women's.
And retroactively, they have considered Toni Storm's reign an actual title reign, not an interim reign, because of this.
That is also true.
Yes.
Why the fuck is your first women's match going to be a tag match that, frankly, I actually didn't give two shits about? It's like, really? Like, you don't want Jamie to try to go on a warpath to kill the competition, retro speaking?
I'm not sure why this had to be a three-way tag.
Or maybe go with my idea that Britt tries to ruin Jamie Hayter.
Well, they're already kind of doing that with Britt stealing the glory in the match and not letting Jamie talk in the interview. Yeah. So
exactly.
So so you just need to be patient because that's the direction they're going in.
Okay.
We're playing the long game here. It's fine. Just go with it.
In-ring promo from the Acclaimed, which was good, and then Jeff Jarrett came along, and then it was no longer good.
I kind of found their rap a little weak. I'm like, what? No insults to people? What the hell?
And then finally, this epitome of mid-show was saved by Tomohiro Ishii and Chris Jericho. This was amazing.
And now that the Dynamite section of our Dynamite talk is over and we're talking about ROH now.
Yeah. Yeah, I still stand by all my criticisms of, like, okay, like, look, I get Tony Khan said in his, in the media scrum that he's not going to do a YouTube show for Ring of Honor because he says he feels it deserves better than that, but I also feel like it deserves better than just being another part of AEW. So I feel like a YouTube show would be better than just taking up time on Dynamite and Rampage. That's just me.
I think that if it really deserved more than just YouTube, that some kind of TV contract would also agree.
Yes.
If you can't get
Ring of Honor Rampage, just saying.
I mean, if you have such a strong connection with Warner Discovery, if they're super duper happy about all this, then why aren't you having success getting a TV show for Ring of Honor on one of their networks?
Yep. But this match, despite all of that, was still amazing. It was a dream match, and it lived up to it. Ishii's great. Jericho's in the midst of a career resurgence. The chops to Jericho, where, like, the chops busted him open. That was pretty awesome. The ending of the match with Ishii flipping Jericho off right before he tapped was pretty cool. You might hear me talk about this one at the end of the year. What everybody else think, at least of the match, at least.
Match was brilliant. Like, yeah, I too may be talking about this at the end of the year.
The match was really good. Just, it would have been better if it was on a Ring of Honor television. I'm kind of burnt out on ROH on AEW.
I agree.
This is something you could have saved for a first television show.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But we do know what's going to happen with Jericho in the ROH title at Final Battle. Jericho will defend against Claudio. And if Claudio loses, he will be forced to join the JAS.
Which is fine because he's not good on any other group right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that is it. AEW is really, really bad at following up after pay-per-views. Like, they are bad. Like, they do not do that very well at all. They do all right on the go-home shows, but the follow-up shows are just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Saved by this main event.
See, I don't know about that. I don't think that they do an awesome job at go-home shows.
I was going to say, like, are you going to try and defend the follow-up shows? Because the last few have not been the best.
The last couple follow-up shows have not been great, but in their defense, at almost every fucking pay-per-view, they come out with a major injury or problem.
Yeah.
Like, the shows don't go off without a hitch lately. Like, it seems like since, well, pretty much all of 2022, after every pay-per-view, somebody big is hurt. So, I mean, I kind of, like, okay, so your 6-month plan is out the window because somebody is concussed or somebody broke something or this or that. That kind of makes things difficult for a follow-up show, I think.
Yeah.
Like, in their defense of that, I think that that's got a big piece to do with it. I don't think that they intended to not have MJF on this show because they definitely
needed it.
Well, they sold it after the pay-per-view that we would hear from MJF on Wednesday night. He said it in the media scrum. If you want to hear why I did what I did, you got to watch the MJF show on Wednesday night. And I think that he just got behind on filming. He's filming a movie. That's legit. I think that they just got behind on filming and he couldn't leave. Yeah. So I don't think that was planned either. So that segment, as clunky as it was a fly. It's still not great. Other things that I could think to do would probably have been better, but that was on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm really hoping after Revolution, even if they have injuries, they can, remember, AEW used to be really good at the pivot. Now they're not really so good at the pivot. Ross is yelling at them, but they're not doing the pivot.
But the couch is still stuck.
Yep, the couch is still stuck. But we're not going to keep you stuck for too long. That is it for our show this week. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeeka9, Twitter @athletic_geeka9, Instagram @athleticgeeka9. I am on Patreon if you'd like to contribute to this channel financially. Patreon.com/athleticgeeka9. Easy, do you have social media?
Follow me at the Twitter at DRIKZARINS.
All right, and CJ?
On Twitter at CJTMall0.
Yep. And yeah, for EZ and CJ, I'm the Athletic Geek. We're just Marks, and we're out. Have a good one.